Most human connections are not healthy, and they're not the ones that I'm talking about when I say human connection is the strongest antidepressant of all. I just finished a leadership training this weekend on authentic connection, and what's really resonating with me is that very few human connections in our world are actually the ones that induce a lot of oxytocin, reduce stress, and promote depth of nourishment. Most human connections are quite shallow, distracted, and unintentional. They may still be healthy, right? They're better than experiencing loneliness, which can lead to chronic stress. However, what we're trying to do as community builders and team leaders is optimize for a particular type of human connection. And so when I say human connection is the elixir of life, I mean a very narrow version of human connection characterized by 4 criteria. So use these criteria when you're bringing your people together, because realize that very few connections are the ones that produce the most health benefits. All right, so the first criteria is psychological safety. I can take social risks with this person. Number 2 is belonging. I am accepted by this person for all my quirks, imperfections, and looks, beliefs. Okay? Belonging. Number 3 is positivity. I feel energized and excited when I'm connecting with this person. And finally, number 4 is intentionality. I actually want to build a relationship and connect with the person in front of me. Now, authenticity is a buzzword these days, and what it really means is the safety to reveal one's feelings, beliefs, expressions, outwardly and explicitly. And really, authenticity is just underneath psychological safety, because authenticity is a social risk. So how do we create connections in our group that have those 4 criteria? Well, there's a few different approaches, and one of the approaches is priming our community members, our team leaders, by giving them social norms to follow, by setting the social codes for our gatherings such that people know what to do when someone is vulnerable. Well, they celebrate the person when they're vulnerable. People know what to do when someone makes an intelligent failure or mistake. We acknowledge that they took the risk and spoke up, right? Or, well, if people are not intentional and they don't want to build relationships, then they may not come to an event where the explicit intention is to build deep relationships, right? So if we make that purpose explicit, then we can prevent the people who are avoiding social contact from showing up, right? So we can also screen people and their intentions such that the people who don't want to be vulnerable, they don't want to be intentional, and they don't want to connect on a deeper level, they just won't come. They won't want to be there. So that's going to protect the culture of our community at our event, right? So number 2, I'm a big advocate for this, is merely structure. So giving our guests prompts, activities that really encourage and make it easy for people to express that they want to have a deep connection with the person in front of them. Exercises where people get the chance to celebrate each other's vulnerability, right? So when I was at this retreat, it's called Authentic Relating, and it's all about being with more. And one of the tactics used in the course over and over again is called a sentence stem. And it's really simple. You give people a prompt to finish, like, One way I imagine we're similar is, and people just repeat that prompt over and over again in a structured way, back and forth, and what happens is people realize they're a lot more similar than before the exercise. Another exercise we did was with the sentence stem, one thing that attracts me to you, or one thing that draws me to you is ... Okay, so there's all sorts of sentence stems that we can use when we're facilitating an event to invite the belonging, the psychological safety, the positivity, and the boom, not authenticity, it is intentionality. One thing I'll say regarding positivity, now often positivity can be accessed through the body, not necessarily just through the intellect. So if we're just using conversation as a way to, get the positivity, get the energy, get the excitement, we may not reach the same level of energy that's possible when we use social neuroscience-based techniques like dancing, singing, music, laughter, playfulness, right? Using the full body can activate positivity much more effectively. So, core takeaways from this video. There's average human connection, which isn't that healthy and might as well not optimize for it. And then there's healthy, meaningful human connection characterized by the 4 criteria. We can set the social code at our event and community to incentivize those types of connections, and we can use different activities and structures to invite people to make others feel positive, like they belong, psychologically safe, and give them the chance to express their intentionality and their willingness to connect and invest in relationships with the people in front of them. Join my laboratory below. This was your connection coach, the Party Scientist.